Hello everyone and welcome to the semi-finals of the Pokemon Color Tournament. Sorry there's been no video except the one Yu-Gi-Oh video yesterday in the past week. School things happened. I had a deadline of a bunch of things that I had to hand in, reports, assignments, things like that. That deadline's behind me now, so I can go back to making some videos for you. Now it is the semi-finals of the Color Tournament. It's ferradorandre against myself. We are the final two left in the winner's bracket, so the final two that haven't yet lost. Let's take a look at their team. A very solid, good team, I would say. Stats-wise, Xatu is the weakest. However, Xatu is actually one of the ones that I worry about the most, because as I've shown in the previous match against Akane Plays, Shuckle and the setup it brings with either Stealth Rock or Sticky Web is really useful. But I know that Xatu has Magic Bounce, which bounces back Stealth Rock to me, bounces back Sticky Web to me, bounces back Encore to me, and they likely know, or at least realize it during team preview, that I have Shuckle, therefore will be trying to use it. And even if they don't lead with Xatu, and if I lead with Shuckle, they may just immediately switch into Xatu. So I definitely had to think about that for a while. They start with Celesteela. I do decide to start with Shuckle because I felt that was my best way to go. However, I very much knew that the risk of Xatu existed. Therefore, the only safe option was Infestation, which is my only damaging move. I have Stealth Rock, Sticky Web, Encore, Infestation. And the thing about Infestation is, just like with things like Wrap or Fire Spin, it makes the opponent unable to switch if it hits. So would they stay in with Celesteela in this case, then Infestation makes them unable to switch, and then the turn after I can use Stealth Rock or Sticky Web. However, something I believe I knew at this point, I'm not sure, is that they had Trick Room on their team. On both Reuniclus and Xatu. I'm not sure if I think I knew it about one of them at the time, not the second one. But they have Trick Room on their team. So, and a good amount of them aren't exactly fast anyway. So I don't think I ever tried to set up Sticky Web. So let's see what I do. They do switch to Xatu as expected, and as I theorized, the Infestation was the best way to go. What do I do now? Well, nothing really works against them, so I can either Infestation again, or I switch to Captain. Let's just do it. They set up Trick Room immediately. There we go. They're faster. Well, no. I am faster. That's what some people say. Now that they're faster, their slower Pokemon are now faster. That's not the case. They just move first. I do want to use the terminology correctly. Captain is very strong. However, they have two Pokemon that resist their moves. A resistance from Venusaur, a sort of resistance on Electric for Tyranitar just because of increased special defense because of Sandstorm, and then a full resistance from Zygarde. I thought Zygarde would come in, so I Dazzling Gleam to hit Zygarde super effectively. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. They brought in Venusaur, so I have to switch. Not staying in against a Sludge Bomb. Jirachi comes in. They actually Earthquake. Whether they predicted the switch to Jirachi, I don't know. Or they just felt that that was the safest one against my general Pokemon. That could be the case as well. I think they did see quite a high chance of me switching into Jirachi to resist that Sludge Bomb. So that's an Earthquake from Venusaur. They switch, and I think, yep, time for flinching. Iron Head, I know that they're faster. Like, no, I say it again. No. They move first. I am faster, because I have, remember the Trick Room's there. Because of Trick Room, for one more turn, they would move first. If I would have moved first, then my Chore Scarf Jirachi would have just been Iron Head and Tyranitar's gone, no problem. But they had one more turn to play with that Trick Room. So they were very likely going to use Dark Move. It is Crunch. I'm happy they didn't use Pursuit, thinking about it now. They lowered my defense, which I don't like. However, now Trick Room's gone. So here comes Tapu Koko. And this time, I do believe I go for Volt Switch? Because it predicted the Venusaur switch. Because if it was... Because I felt Dazzling Game wasn't going to do too well. Oh, by the way, you also used Dazzling Game because Tyranitar. But, yeah, they had Tyranitar out earlier. I thought Volt Switch because I predicted the switch into Venusaur once more. I don't think they thought they knew I had choice specs at this time. That's probably why they didn't switch into Zygarde, because I would have then been able to use Thunderbolt and then Dazzling Gleam the turn after. I switched to V-Wheel because I feel that, one, it can threaten the Venusaur with both psychic and fire moves. I'm not sure how much they knew about my team before this battle. But I knew that without Trick Room, V-Will would definitely outspeed. I would be able to set up my Z Celebrate, and with my defenses, assuming that Earthquake wouldn't get a crit, I would be able to survive and then hit really hard with stored power. Because we have to remember, Mega Venusaur does have the thick fat ability, so it only takes half damage from fire moves. So it's like as if it's normal effective. Let's switch to Zygarde, which is interesting. However, I Z Celebrate, boosting all of my stats. As long as they don't set up Trick Room, this can be pretty darn dangerous. I took a bit of damage with Sandstorm, Stored Power. Zygarde, Stab, 1000 Arrows, doesn't do enough with my defense increase. Sandstorm gone. Extreme Speed doesn't do enough. They needed a crit there, but they didn't get it, so Stored Power takes out the Zygarde. That's one counter to Tapu Koko gone. Tyranitar comes in, I'm not sure why. Oh yeah, sure I do. Because they resist my moves. My fourth move is Focus Blast. So I thought I could Focus Blast, I could, with my increased power, could use Searing Shot, see how much it does, because I really didn't have an idea. Even with the increased special defense, I thought I would be able to do quite a lot. I felt that, I believe I thought that Searing Shot wouldn't KO, however, it would weaken it enough so that I could then just Tapu Koko and do a lot, or do stuff with my other Pokemon, that I wasn't afraid of it. And I definitely wanted just to make sure I have them weaken instead of trying to go for the KO with Focus Blast without having a 30% chance of missing. I did get the burn, which is nice. Even with the burn, they do KO me with Earthquake, because that was only at a low percentage, and even if they didn't KO me, Sandstorm probably would have. Tapu Koko does come in. They let me take the Tyranitar out because it being burned, it was just going to survive for that final turn. Venusaur does come in. I decide to just keep on Thunderbolting. And I actually get the paralysis, and they get fully paralyzed. I realized that switching to Jirachi wasn't going to work because Earthquake. And Earthquake would have taken our captain as well, so that would have been a very smart move for them to do. Shaco wouldn't be able to do much against the Venusaur. Mimikyu I didn't want to use yet, and Haxorus I wanted preferably at full HP to set up a Dragon Dance and go from there. So I decided, let's just go with Thunderbolt, see what happens, maybe I'll get some hacks, and I did. And then I got the paralysis on them, and then they get fully paralyzed too, which is really lucky on my part. And here my three main Tapu Koko counters are gone, so Thunderbolt, major damage. They do set up Trick Room. And I could have just kept going here, sort of sacrificed Tapu Koko, but I decided to switch it because I know how useful Tapu Koko is, but it does require going first. And it'll KO, it can KO Reuniclus as long as it goes first. It can probably one-shot the Celesteela and the Xatu. So I decided, let's just switch out Tapu Koko. I'll just use it again later. Send in Mind Twirl, because I don't really see it doing much else. And against Reuniclus, like, Infestation is super effective. Not that it'll do much damage, because I have no investments in special attack. Special attack is low anyway. Infestation, they switch to Xatu, potentially predicting the Stealth Rock. Or realizing that maybe Reuniclus can't do much. That's probably not what they did. But they U-turn to get out of the Infestation, send in Celesteela. They protect, which I'm somewhat surprised by, because that just gives me healing, and it gets rid of the... No, it doesn't give me healing, because I don't have lefties, do I? No, I don't have lefties. Never mind. Maybe they just wanted to see what I would do. They Heavy Slam. It is important to remember, 50%. Exactly 50%. I'm still not sure what these numbers mean. Please let me know if you do. But it is 50%. That's an important one that I remembered for later on in Game 2. I was able to get an Infestation off in between turns, dealt some extra damage, 12.5%, so that's decent. Celesteela gains defense, but hey, Trick Room is gone. Go Tapu Koko! Electric Terrain, Stab Thunderbolt, they protect, alright, I'll give them that. They get some extra healing, trying to survive this Thunderbolt. Doesn't happen. Potentially if they would have had a special defense boost, with their special defense being higher, that's how it works. The Celesteela that I have in my regular OU team, its EVs are in such a way that its special defense is a point higher, I believe, so that the Beast Boost does go towards special defense, because I'm more afraid of electric fire moves doing things against Celesteela. Thunderbolt takes out the Reuniclus. Xatu comes in, and guess who was the MVP? Tapu Koko. It's 1-0 if I win the next battle, because it's not 1-0, and it's best of 2 out of 3. If I win the next battle, then I don't win the tournament yet, but I do go into the finals undefeated, which hasn't happened for me yet. Once I was in the semi-finals, which was in the initial tournament against Flash Silver. I lost that one. I did eventually come back to win the tournament. I came back from losers bracket, but I haven't actually won the winners bracket yet. I haven't won the semi-finals, and it would be nice to do so in my chase for my second title. So it is 1-0. Time for the second game. I once again open Shuckle. I have the same plan. I feel good with Shuckle. They once again open Celesteela, and they decide to use Heavy Slam. This is immediately where I remember, okay, remember that 50%. I can take it. I don't have to be afraid. And I was going to Infestation, but with Shuckle being extremely slow, Celesteela would have been faster. And if they would have hit for 51%, or like just over 50%, or even exactly 50%, then they would have been able to two-shot Mine Turtle, and I would have just been able to get an Infestation off through barely anything. But knowing it was 50, like the min-max thing, made me feel good about staying in with Shuckle, but also still I wanted to use Infestation because of the chance of Xatu coming in, and with them not coming in with Xatu, I have now trapped the Celesteela, and with the 46.7% on Heavy Slam, I likely won't be taken out from the next move, so I can Stealth Rock. They lead Seed. I believe this is where I switch. No, I don't. I just let it take out Mine Turtle because the only other thing Mine Turtle would really want to do is just take other hits. And if I let myself be taken out, then like they don't really heal too much with Leech Seed. It's done its job and set up Stealth Rocks. That's really it for Shuckle this match. There isn't all too much else that it can do. It could set up Sticky Web, annoy something with Encore, but really that's just so they can then freely set up something else. I didn't see too much use of it. I decided to just go with Stealth Rock and then let it be taken out, let them take the KO, move on from there. V-Wheel comes in because I thought, nah, the Tapu Koko thing isn't going to work. I predict a switch into Tyranitar, so I use Focus Blast. Doesn't work. I decided not to go see Celebrate because of that, because I would probably want to switch after. Now I decide to use Searing Shot, which I originally wanted to really use on Celesteela. That's when they switch to Tyranitar, so that's a good prediction on their part. I haven't used Z-Celebrate yet, and I don't want to use it here, especially when seeded. So I switch it out, keep my Z-Celebrate option for later. Vegetarian comes in for the first time in the semi-finals. Their Teeter actually switches as well. It's double switch, so they predicted something, I'm not sure what. But they send in Xatu, and I decide, let's just Dragon Dance. They have Thunder Wave, which could definitely mess with my speed. I'm now at half speed compared to like the 1.5 times I already have, so that's 3/4 speed of normal. But I can still go first. I Poison Jab, take it out, because I could use Outrage as well, but I had faith in Poison Jab with Xatu's not so great stats. They didn't want to be locked into Outrage. They send in Zygarde, so Outrage does seem like a good move here. They Dragon Dance, they are faster. I believe there was a prediction here. I knew they had a Dragonium Z. I wasn't sure what that Dragon move was. Most likely Outrage, but I knew they had that. And they were almost certainly going to be faster due to the fact that I was paralyzed. Because our base speeds of Haxorus and Zygarde are really close. So with me being at 3/4 speed, they would outspeed me. So there was an option of them just one-shotting me with the Dragonium Z and then just like devastating Drake, I believe the Z move is called, and Haxorus is gone. However, that would have meant a likely switch, a potential switch into Tapu Koko as well, which would fully resist the Z move, which would then be a waste on their part. So they potentially could use Dragon Dance, which I did, and I actually predicted that. It was a risky one, but I predicted that, went straight for Outrage, got through the paralysis, which is a 75% chance, and actually took them out. And I was so happy about that. You can see in the chat here, yes, that prediction is mine. Venusaur comes in, I'm stuck into Outrage. I'm just going to keep going because that deals a lot of damage. It actually takes out the Venusaur with the help of the Life Orb and the Stealth Rock damage. Reunicus comes in, this is looking good. Unfortunately, I got paralyzed on the third one, which does mean I get confused because it was the last turn of Outrage. Here I do switch. I didn't really want to mess with the confusion as well with my increased power. Send in the Mimikyu. red card activates, switches them into something else, which is T-Tar, which I wasn't really happy with. Then again, Celesteela wouldn't be great either. What was I really trying to do? They crunch, take out Mimikyu, because the only thing Mimikyu would really be useful against was Reuniclus, but I thought there's a lot of other things that would be useful against that too. Vegetarian comes back in because I thought that with Earthquake I could do something. They send in Reuniclus. Earthquake get through the paralysis, which is nice. They do not take Sandstorm damage, otherwise double Earthquake plus Sandstorm damage would have been enough, but they have either Overcoat or... is it Magic Guard? I assume it's Magic Guard, because everything that Overcoat blocks, which is Hail and Sandstorm damage, is also blocked by Magic Guard, and that also blocks things like Burn and Poison damage. So that's probably what they have. They send in Shadow Ball, get a crit kill. I don't think the critical mattered. Either way, Vegetarian is gone. And I need this, as I say here in the chat. Tapu Koko comes in, Thunderbolt takes out the Reuniclus. Tyranitar and Celesteela are remaining. Tyranitar comes in, sets up the Sandstorm gun, which literally just subsided. I don't take it out, but I get the paralysis, and it is fully paralyzed! Like, what? How? What? Okay, now they really don't stand a chance. Thunderbolt on the Tyranitar. I get take some Sandstorm damage. Celesteela's the final one remaining, and I still have my Victini offers with C-Celebrate. I didn't need to do that. Celesteela is gone. I get the 2-0, win the semi-finals. Captain wasn't as much MVP in this specific battle as the previous one, the first battle of this round, but still, Captain, like, amazing. And what the thing is that I now move on to the finals, and in the finals I face the winner of losers bracket. Having lost in the semi-finals, ferradorandre automatically moves to the finals of the losers bracket. And there they actually ended up facing Akone Plays, the person I beat in round 3. The two people who I thought had the best teams, knew the best what they were doing in the tournament. The two opponents I feared the most. Somehow I beat them both, which I'm very happy with Tapu Koko easily playing an MVP role. Sure, supported by the others, but Tapu Koko playing the MVP role on both. So I had very much faith in Tapu Koko to beat either of them in the finals. Does that actually matter? Or, like, is that actually what happens? Do I win the finals? Is it as easy as I make it sound like it could be? Like, I came back in the initial tournament after losing to Flash Silver in the semis. So both ferradorandre and Akone Plays could do that. I'll see you in the finals in my next Pokemon Color tournament video. Goodbye.